Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about former Vice President Pence, former President Trump, and some words that were spoken. And what might be taken as a sign of the Republican Party strategy to continue to push former President Trump into irrelevancy. Slowly, but surely, with a lot of caution. So, Pence is at this thing and he's giving his remarks, he's giving his speech, and he says, "I had no right to overturn the election, and his reckless words endangered my family and everyone at the Capitol that day. And I know history will hold Donald Trump accountable." And in another place, he says President Trump was wrong. There's a lot of comments about it. So what you're seeing when you combine this with some of the other statements that were made by high-level Republicans concerning Trump is you're starting to see this slow push to make ever more condemning claims and statements about the former president, about former President Trump. And you have to wonder why they don't just walk out and say, he did everything that they said he did, all right? Fear. There's a lot of fear. The Republican Party as a whole fears Trump's base. They fear the backlash. So they fear Trump's base, and they loathe Trump. So they're trying to work out a balance where they slowly put out more and more controversial statements that are designed to push the blame onto Trump and do so slowly so his base isn't angered, slowly getting his base acclimated to the idea that the Republican Party is not going to support Trump again, that he's going to get a lot of pushback this time. And they're trying to walk that fine line between putting that information out there before the primary season really starts in earnest and angering his base so much that they call for him to run on a third-party ticket. They're trying to walk that fine line. One of the interesting things about it is seeing Pence do it. Pence is Pence, but he is a player within the Republican establishment. Seeing him start to push that out there in what many see as his first moves towards his own presidential run kind of indicates that he's throwing his lot in with the moderates. Now, make no mistake about it, this does not mean that Pence is a moderate. Pence is not like Hogan, as an example. Pence is very conservative, very right-wing, very set in his ways. He's anti-Trump. So there is an alliance that is probably very uneasy between those candidates who are on the far right, but really loathe Trump, and the normal Republican Party from back in the day. I would expect to see more high-level Republicans say things that are less than flattering about former President Trump, and those who continue to support him. There were some veiled shots at Tucker Carlson's attempt to reframe what happened on the 6th as well, coming from Pence. You're probably going to see a lot more of that as well. The one question that I still have, that I haven't seen any real indication of, is whether or not the loathing that the Republican Party establishment, the moderates, that original Republican Party pre-MAGA, I haven't seen any indication as to whether or not they would back another authoritarian like Trump, a Trump-light candidate. Right now, they seem to be all aiming at Trump. But there are other candidates who are just like him, that are still part of that MAGA faction. We haven't seen anything suggesting that they're going to push back on those candidates as much as they are against Trump, which honestly is a mistake. If they want to retake the Republican Party, they have to reintroduce those traditional conservative values and move away from the more authoritarian aspects of the Republican Party, which would include those other candidates. But so far, we haven't seen that, which leaves me with a little bit of concern that they may get rid of Trump using this method and end up throwing their weight behind somebody who is just as bad or maybe even worse from that same ideological makeup. And that's the one piece of information we all kind of need. And we need to know what the Republican establishment is planning in that regard. And whether or not all of those contingency plans they've developed would apply to candidates of the same ideological makeup. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.